I want to go into more detail about just how much of a failure Amonkhet was. I'm right now looking at the TCG player market price, which is about the average price for each one of these cards, and the top four cards in terms of value, what the most expensive, Liliana Death's Majesty is about $13 right now. Gideon of the Trials is about $12. Ronus, the Indomitable, is about 11, and Nissa is about 10, close to 10, about 9.5. But still, yet again, we see another set where the Planeswalkers are usually the most expensive cards. I'm not going to complain if they give us good Planeswalkers. Of course, they're going to be expensive just because they're a really good card type. They're very difficult to deal with. There's not that much removal for them. I understand. But I don't think any of these, with the exception of maybe Gideon, see consistent play in Standard. It goes to show how terrible of a set this was. When, you go to Pro Tours, you look at all these lists and stuff. The majority of the cards are from Aether Revolt, Kaladesh. A lot of these cards are from those sets. Hardly anything from Amonkhet. And if it is, it's usually like the zombie decks that have some influence from Eldritch Moon. I think, the rest of the set it's pretty bad. When I look at the other cards that I thought might have been worth something, let's see here. Where is it? Okay, yeah, here it is. Harsh Mentor. It is almost $2. And that was a card that many of us were speculating was going to be kind of a modern sideboard staple for just any deck. But to see that an uncommon and Censor is firmly at the $2 mark, and Harsh Mentor doesn't even, it goes to show how terrible of a set this is when the majority of your rares and mythics are, when your mythics have to be Planeswalkers to see consistent play and value, you're not doing a good job in developing these cards, trying to make good cards for Standard. And Combat Celebrant, another card that we thought would definitely help the aggro scene, really, it's not even $3, it's 2.5. So I don't know what, mythics are just terrible in this set. I'm trying to find the other mythics. There's just a whole bunch of cards in here that I thought were going to be good, but just doesn't turn out that way. Summit, Voice of Dissent, I don't think that was going to be good in Standard anyway. Glorious End, same thing. Mythic, just a terrible set of mythics and rares. Just junk rares. But can't really expect too much. The gods, I even knew from the spoilers, just looking at the gods, that this wasn't going to be a good set. They were the main selling point for this entire set here, and it was the fact, we're gonna have gods, we're gonna have new gods, continuation of that creature type from Theros, and unfortunately, they all kind of suck. I don't know why Ronus is like $11. I guess there's some deck that plays him. Out of the bunch in Standard, I can imagine that he'd be the easiest to make a creature. And again, Gideon, Martial Paragon, and Liliana Death Wielder, the two from the Planeswalker decks, are about $5 to $6 each, which is kind of ridiculous when you can just open a pre-constructed piece of shit and you automatically get one of the top 10 cards in value from this whole set. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't be like that. This set just has terrible value in it unless you get like a Liliana or a Gideon, or Nissa, which yet again is what I've said in previous videos. They use Planeswalkers to bail them out of making terrible sets, because they're the only reason to buy it in the first place. There's really nothing else, which is why I also said Commander is the best format, because even with a piece of shit like Amonkhet, you still have cards that are going to see Commander play. They may not be super expensive, but they're there. But yeah, we look at Modern, it's just, there's not much, there's no support for Modern in here. There really isn't. Harsh Mentor's not support. There's better options, and really, who are you going to screw over? Just pretty much Affinity, which is one of the top decks again. in Modern. If I looked at MTG Goldfish, and you look at the current meta, it says Affinity now. So I can only imagine Harsh Mentor would be seeing play in Modern just to deal with Affinity. But even then, there's a bunch of cards that already do that. It seems like one of the best decks to side against is Affinity because it's so easy to side against. There's not much else support from this set for Modern, though. I just don't see it. And by extension, that means Legacy and Vintage, absolutely nothing there. Commander, I don't know. Liliana, she might see play in a good zombie deck, but who knows? If you're really trying to make a good zombie tribal deck, you might want to play her. I don't really know if she's an absolute auto-include. Maybe just because she's one of the few planeswalkers that specifically state zombie. Gideon's just Gideon. I've always hated him. He's kind of a piece of shit. He always comes around and he's kind of meh. Not really much going for him. Always disappointed. Yet again, give us another Nissa. Supposed to be cool, but I honestly don't really see what the big deal about her is. X in the CMC. Who really gives a fuck? She's Simic colors now, so her +2's alright. But other than that, yet another planeswalker. I want them to make more planeswalkers that don't just synergize with other planeswalkers. Like, make a planeswalker for a purpose other than just, Super Friends. We got another one for Super Friends, guys. Let's make a fucking Super Friends deck. Make us a good fucking planeswalker that doesn't have synergy with Super Friends, because that seems to be the majority of these cards. I understand, that's what you're going to get with the Planeswalker creature type. You're going to get people that make Super Friends decks almost exclusively. But we need more Planeswalkers that have other synergies. Like, say, have some with synergies with artifacts, enchantments. Tezzeret was supposed to be that, and so was Sahelia, but you just don't really see enough of them to really justify really kind of getting outside of the Super Friends pool there. I wish that they would have something for enchantments in the Planeswalker department. Have more synergies with other deck types other than just Super Friends. That's really what I'm asking for. But Amonkhet, again, perfect example, prime example of how they keep giving us Planeswalkers because they know deep down inside they cannot deliver on the rest of their set. You look at the gods, they were just complete crap. These guys, you will forget about them, or at least you will want to forget about them like 2 to 3 years from now. You probably won't remember any of their names because they all suck. They're just terrible. Go to Theros, get all those gods because they were significantly better. They see tons of play in Commander, and if they could, they would definitely see play in Modern too. But again, the CMC is too high there, and Devotion's not necessarily a Modern thing. But still, they all have great abilities and good synergies with other cards. These gods do not. And they're all pretty much crap. If they see play in Commander, it's usually people trying to build shit for a budget. That's my only explanation. I don't know how to explain it any other way. This is a pretty budget set, though. I don't think I would recommend buying any of this at all. Even the singles, As Foretold is the only card that really piqued my interest in here. The rest is just kind of bulk junk mythics and just shit you don't want. But anyway, I don't know if I'm done shitting on Amonkhet yet. I'll have to see. Try to do some more videos. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching.